All right, hello. Welcome to Smart City Platforms. This is one of our Smart City sessions this week. I'm Jim Frazer, and I lead the Smart Cities effort here at ARC. We do have a team of 8, including Eddie Fiedler, who focuses on transportation and the impact of transportation on smart cities. Epan Jacob, who's our facilities automation person. He also covers fire alarms, security for buildings. Larry O'Brien, who many of you know, is our cybersecurity focused analyst. Alex Chata focuses on smart cities, smart buildings, and smart platforms. Rick Risch is our energy guy. That includes photovoltaic, microgrids, demand management. Jose is recently joined ARC, and he is our smart rail and smart city contact. He's based in Munich. And Rob D'Angelo is our client manager for the smart city community. Rob, give everybody a wave. We have a full complement of smart city sessions this week. This is a relatively new practice. Many of us have been here for less than a year. One of us has been here over a year. ARC has worked in this domain for a long time, but only recently have we grouped it all together under a Smart Cities umbrella. And this week, we're commencing our program with Smart City Success Stories today. At 4 o'clock, we have a program on IoT and smart lighting platforms, in particular, the hidden opportunities of that convergence. Then we have a Smart City Project Best Practices meeting, where we will talk about what you really do first in terms of an integrated program of your smart city effort. In that session, we'll also be having an overview of a new IEEE standard on smart city digital transformation. Larry O'Brien will be conducting a session on the cybersecurity challenge for smart cities and all that related intelligent infrastructure. Rick Risch has a very insightful session on drones for smart city and industry. I have a mobility as a service platform. This is the integrated approach to everything from Uber and Lyft to light rail to commuter bus to long distance bus, all the way down to scooters and bike share and even walking. And if you attend that session, you might be lucky enough to ride on an electric scooter. Eddie Fiedler will be conducting smart parking systems. There's a variety of systems in that domain, from elevators to other less automated systems. And late in the week, there's an autonomous and connected vehicle testbed tour to the Florida Department of Transportation's own SunTrax test facility. That's about a half an hour away from here. So what's driving the smart cities market? Well, number one, new technologies. There's a plethora of communication technologies, sensor technologies, data technologies that have dramatic impacts both on the environment, on human quality of life, and also to the bottom line. Those technologies are also converging, so that you don't have standalone applications for every little application that might be out there, from parking to wastewater management and all the plethora of applications that a public agency manages. Much of that technology is being commoditized. So prices are falling very rapidly due to Moore's law, and simply the volumes of sales are increasing. And that gives you a greater ROI. And then more from a management perspective within public agencies, cities, counties, states, there's a de-siloization. Historically, these organizations have had the water department, the traffic signal department, the lighting maintenance staff, and all of those might not even know each other, never mind work together. So we're starting to see where the IT department is working with the intelligent transportation systems people that are housed in the public works department, and vice versa. Of course, the Internet of Everything. Devices that aren't even contemplated that weren't even contemplated a few years ago for public agencies are now being created and are having dramatic impacts. All of this together can be rolled up in the two-word phrase, digital transformation. So applications. What really is a smart city? Well, just like smart grid or a lot of buzzwords we use, there isn't necessarily one defining definition. Here at ARC, we tend to like the efforts of the Smart Cities Council, who has defined this graphic as a reference about what is a smart city. So across the top, you have a list of applications that cities are typically responsible for. And of course, there's buildings, the maintenance, the control, the security of the buildings themselves, energy usage, whether you be a municipal utility or buying your power direct from an investor-owned utility, the telecommunications network, both for first responders and for public maintenance staff that are out there on the road, as well as the office workers and the communication to the general public. Transportation. Many public agencies run all those different modes of transportation, from light rail and buses and little shuttle commuter vans. Water and wastewater is very important. Other health and human services, boil water alerts if there's a water main breakage and things like that. Public safety is all your fire and EMS, communications and police and first responder body cams. And payments and finance. I have that one last, but that often has the fastest ROI in terms of online bill payments rather than receiving a paper bill. So these are the applications the big 9 applications that frankly define a smart city today. Actually, the 9th is waste management. We do have to take out our garbage. And that's an important one because we know that waste can be turned into methane, it could be used, it could be recycled. So there are also 7 technologies that cross basically all of those applications and have impacts. Control systems impact all of these, from energy to buildings, security systems, cybersecurity, connectivity. In this world of IoT and even Internet of Everything, connectivity is very important. It's really not an IoT device if it's not connected. Interoperability. Interoperability is a big one because that plug-and-play availability drives more features, it lowers the cost, and makes the installations that much easier. You don't have to custom code every time. Security, cybersecurity, and its flip side, privacy, is a technology that's important. Tremendous amounts of data are now created by these IoT devices, and it goes somewhere, and it has to be managed. It's not an insignificant issue. Computing resources. You do need to define your computing resources across each one of these applications to derive and do your business intelligence on each of those applications so that you can drive an analytics platform and come up with informed decisions rather than just looking at legacy information in your historical notebook. So what's the future for smart city platforms? Well, the profusion of sensors, the plethora of sensors out there continues to grow by an increasing rate every day. It's a great, very strong foundation for smart city development. Among those, LED lighting, both indoor and outdoor, they're a bit different. We'll talk about that in the next session. But they offer new power to sensor devices. And why do I have new in quotation marks? Well, I come out of the lighting world, and if you convert from whether it be an incandescent or high pressure sodium or mercury vapor even to an LED lamp, or light source, more accurately, you typically have a 60 or 70 or maybe even 80% energy savings. That savings is dramatic. Sure, your electric bill is lower, and we all know the benefits of maintenance, that fixture might last 10 years rather than 2. But the much more dramatic hidden benefit is that conductor now, that copper wire, is already installed, that cost has already been amortized and paid for, and yet it's 70% unused, which means on a street light, you have 700 milliamps to power anything you want. That could be a Bluetooth people tracker or traffic counting system. It could be Wi-Fi. It could be a 4G or a 5G small cell. It could be a lot of different things. And that's where we all need to be creative as we build out our smart cities. Transportation. Many of these rolling shuttles that are actually on the roads today, you can think of them as people movers, but in a different perspective, they really are rolling sensor platforms that capture just about everything. So some of these shuttle operators will tell you, sure, it's great to move people very safely without a driver, but it's also about imaging and seeing how many logo T-shirts of a particular logo somebody is wearing on a particular street corner. Public safety, cameras, from facial recognition cameras, if perhaps you are a person that shouldn't be admitted to a facility, to first responder body cams for police. And of course, there's a whole host of new sensors in various ports of the energy generation and distribution and delivery grid. Not only microgrids, photovoltaic and solar, but up and down the traditional network as well. So with that, before we move on to questions, let me just introduce our presenters and panelists. David Kramer is an advanced technology person with Ford. He'll be speaking next. We have Dana Klein from Cloud Park, which is an AI smart city platform company that originates in the smart parking domain. And we have Chris Davis from Simcon, who's done Simcon has done some tremendous work in the outdoor lighting controls world with their platform. Before we get started there, since we have a relatively small group, I'd like for each of us to introduce ourselves. So if Will or Rob can pass a microphone around so that our speakers know who's out there as well, since you know us, let's go around and just introduce ourselves. Just your name, your company, and any other brief remarks you might want to make.
I am Steve Garbruck from Hitachi Vantara. We make video recognition and software for smart cities that will analyze videos that you already have and information in that space.
Great.
I want to talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Parameshwaran from Bahrain Petroleum, Bahrain. I'm one of the speakers in the forthcoming forums.
Yeah, myself, Pravala, from, again, Bahrain, but I'm here to actually, this is a very nice thing about the smart city that we learn more, because smart city or a smart refinery has to be simple.
Agreed.
Good afternoon, everybody. James Gayton from SAS. We're a software analytics firm focusing on smart cities on edge compute, video analytics, and AI.
Thanks, James.
Larry Sepos with Sesco Lighting. We're a manufacturer's representative for light fixture manufacturers. Suzanne Seidinger with Signify, formerly Philips Lighting. We do lighting, control systems, platforms, and sensors.
Hi, I'm Rick Severance. I'm the president of Babcock Ranch, one of the first smart cities in the U.S.
Welcome, Rick.
Oh, I know them.
Everett Niebuhr from ArcelorMittal Dofasco. The steel, we make steel, and plant I work at is as big as a small town, so I'm interested.
Marge Lex with Siemens Industry, and I'm Commercial Market Development Manager. And I'm here to learn more about smart cities, as Siemens works a lot on the industrial side with digital enterprise. I'm focused on our construction sales team.
Hi, I'm Richard Vincent with Foxconn. I'm part of the Wisconsin initiative to develop new technologies in Wisconsin.
Pat Irwin, I'm with Enderson Hauser. We're a manufacturer of process control instrumentation, and we do a lot in the water wastewater world. So we're curious to see more about the type of information that the cities are looking at, and the gathering of information off the devices.
Great.
Yeah, I'm Doug Church, Anderson Hauser, Regional Sales Manager, and Pat stole my thunder, so.
All right, well, hey, thank you very much. I'll finish up by saying I'm Jim Frazer. I'm relatively new to ARC. I joined in October. Previous to that, I've spent 20 years as an independent consultant. Among the efforts that I led were I wrote the U.S. Department of Transportation's Communications Interface Standard for electrical and lighting management systems. That's street lighting, electric metering, ground fault equipment, more recently electric vehicle charging interfaces, connected vehicle support, and automated demand response. I spent quite a bit of time in the lighting domain, where I lead the Illuminating Engineering Society's largest technical standards committee, the Roadway Lighting Committee. And later this week, I'm beginning my journey as the vice chair of the IEEE's Smart Cities Planning and Technology Guide Standard. It's been in process for a few months, and we're having a physical meeting at noon on Thursday, if you'd like to all join us after the ARC forum is over.